No one asked me. And it was a long time ago, but I remember it. And now that prom is coming up, I really feel led by God to just put this out for you guys, for any young lady that's out there that it's time for you to go to prom. And you're like, well, no one asked me. Let me tell you something. That is totally fine. And I'm telling you things that now that I look back, that I know now. First of all, it is not the last thing on earth, or the most devastating thing on earth that you did not get invited to the prom. In that moment, it seems like it's the most devastating, rejecting, harsh kind of thing. It's hurtful to see so many other young ladies being invited to prom, and then here you are, no one's interested in you. And to say the least, you're not really that interested in anyone. There's some guys at your high school that you may be interested in, but they are not interested in you. That was me. And so I know your pain. I know your pain. And first, let me start off by saying that prom is not about if you have a date or if you do have someone to go with you or you don't. The purpose of prom is so that you can celebrate your achievements that you achieved in high school, and it's almost kind of like a rites of passage. You're getting ready to just celebrate, and that's kind of like the last big thing, fun thing that you guys will do before you transition, before you graduate, and then you move on to adulthood. But it is a big deal, and I'm not going to take away that pain that you feel, that literally no one asked you to prom. Right? That was me. And once again, that's why I'm making this video. So at the beginning of the video, I showed you myself. I went all out. So I actually got my address when I was still in high school. I used to be a big fan of Sierra. And everything she did, that's what I did. So she had this dress that was similar to what I had on, even the ombre and everything. But I think the part of her abdominal part was showing. And my principal of my school said, no, you can't wear that. So I had to get some mesh material to go right there. But anywho, I still dressed up. I still went all out and paid for my dress. And I still was going to go to prom. And I remember seeing all the girls in school getting asked to prom. They had already had their boyfriends that they had been with, for the year or something. And I really never had any boyfriends in high school. Like, that's another thing. I didn't have any boyfriends in high school. I think I dated one guy and maybe two. But then they all found someone else, and to this day they're married. But I was also someone that has never been picked or never had a real boyfriend in high school. So therefore, I didn't have anyone to ask me to the school prom. Well, it just so happened that my cousin, we went to the same high school. We didn't really grow up together, but I remember when I first got to my high school, my mom, she saw her cousin and she was like, hey, that's your cousin. And her cousin, which is their first cousin, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is my son. And he goes to this school as well. And from that day, my cousin, he was just so loving. Like even if we didn't grow up together, at that moment in 9th grade when we first saw each other, like it's to this day, like, take care of me. And so, so we went through 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Here we are. And he saw that no one invited me to the prom. So I remember one day, he just asked me, he was like, well, do you want to go to prom together? And, I was so happy because I had saw all the girls with their boyfriends and I had no one to ask me. And I was like, yeah, I want to go to prom. So, long story short, like, I got my dress made. And I told him the colors that I was wearing, and then he had like a white tuxedo. And my mom dropped me off to the prom. His mom dropped him off. And of course, at the prom, he hung out with like all the popular kids, the funny kids, because he was a football player in high school. So he just hung out with his friends, but it was still nice to have that he asked me. And like, he knew that I didn't have anyone. And so he asked me, and I saw him at the prom. I don't remember much about that night because it was so long ago. But I remember we ended up taking like the picture together at the end of prom. So I have a picture of it. I have been trying to find it. I cannot find it, but my cousin actually took me to the prom. So what I wanted to say is what to do when no one asks you to the prom. So first of all, it is a big deal because every girl wants to feel like they are cared about, like someone is interested in them. So to acknowledge your feelings, like, yes, it means something if someone asks you, but in the instance that someone doesn't, it's not the end of the world. What it means is that it's an opportunity for you to maybe God will put like a family member to ask you. I had no clue my cousin was going to ask me to the prom. And I'm so glad that he did, because I mean, at the moment, I didn't know. I knew I was sad that no one asked me, but like, I never vocalized it to my mom, like, well, no one asked me. I never told her or said anything. I just like went along with it. But I know in my heart I was hurt. But I thank God that he at least had my cousin to ask me. Right? So I wasn't so alone at the prom. But I end up, so one thing to do, like I said, is to, like, if you have a favorite cousin, male cousin, that can take you to the prom, that would be nice. Like, it's nothing wrong with your family members taking you to the prom. Like, if you have a big brother that you really honor or respect, you get along with, you guys laugh, he can take you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have an uncle that you get along with, he can take you, and there's nothing wrong with that. You feel comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. And most of all, if you have a good relationship with your own father, and you're comfortable and you get along with him, he can take you as well. You are not out of options. Or you could just go along. But go to the prom. Do not let not having someone ask you out on a date to prom be the reason that you do not go. Don't let that be the reason. That's not a reason. I'm telling you. When you look back on your life, that's something that you would totally regret, because you let something that is so minute to your destiny and to your future, and just having fun and celebrating your achievements, stop you. And so that's one way that you can still go. Or you can just, if you have a lot of friends in high school, like I know most girls, they have a lot of friend girls. You guys can just go together. Or if you have one friend, if that has been your friend throughout the whole year, you and her could just go together. And what I mean is, like, you know, your mom drop her off or whatever the case may be, but you can still go. There's other ways to go and have fun. And lastly, just remember that, you know, that's why you have family. Even to this day, you know, I graduated high school and college and all these things, and now I'm in the United States military, and I'm still not married. I still don't have a boyfriend. No one still asks me out, and don't feel sorry for me, but it's the truth. And that does not mean that it stops me from still celebrating my achievements or going somewhere or doing things by myself. So what I do, and what I'm also encouraging you to do, because it's not the end all, what you do is you have family. You are still covered under someone, whether it be your mom, your dad, your parents, or your guardians, or your next door neighbor. Someone still covers you. Even to this day, I have a lot of events in the United States Air Force that requires most people bring their husbands or their wives, and I'm the minority. I'm still single. And so what I do is I invite my parents. Now, because I live in different locations in the world, my biological parents are not able to just fly out to different places. So what God does is he sends me spiritual parents, and they go with me to nice events. Or sometimes if it's like a Christmas party or something like that, I'll just go by myself and I'll meet my coworkers there. So, you know, it's not the end all because you don't have a date. But one thing I do want to tell you is that, you know, as a young lady, you're still under your parents. And that's one thing to keep in mind, that you're still covered until you get married, that your parents are your covering if you are in good relationship with them. They are your covering. I am a grown adult and my parents are still my covering. So don't think you're above that. And I know what the world tells you through all the videos and the hip hop and all this, that you're an independent woman and that's lame to have your friend, your dad. You know, you got to have a boyfriend and your friends put that peer pressure on you. But no, you don't have to, because there's a divine purpose of why you're still single and why no one asked you to the prom. And that's okay. It's still a covering. And it's so amazing. It's such a safe place to still be under your family until you do get married or get asked to the prom or whatever the case may be, or to a dance or something. I want to show you a video of my cousin, not the same cousin who took me to prom, but another cousin. His daughter just graduated from, she's getting ready to go to graduate, to go to college, and she just attended her prom, and my cousin took her to her prom. And they had a blast. It was such a covering. It was so beautiful to see that, because you rarely see fathers, most fathers don't do that. A lot of us young ladies, we push our fathers away because we think it's lame for our fathers to take us to the prom. But they have such a good relationship. They had so much fun together. And it was just a way to bond. Because most times when people go to prom, they get a hotel afterwards and they do things that they should not do. So it was a way to have fun and bond with each other, to still be under that covering. And I'm going to show you some videos how fun it was to still be under your father and still be covered. Have fun and just enjoy your achievement. So if you're listening to this or watching this, watch this next video, this clip. It was such a good time. And my second cousin, she was very beautiful. So you get to see that too. So now that you got to watch the clip, you saw how beautiful my second cousin is. She's gorgeous. And you also got to see my cousin, her dad, go to the prom with her. And they had so much fun. Listen, she got home safe. She didn't have any boy trying to do anything to her crazy. Listen, and she enjoyed herself. So I want to tell you that whether you choose to go, like I said, maybe a family member would ask you. If not, that's okay. Maybe, I know everybody is not in a good place with their family. That's okay. But what about, if you decide to go on your own, that's okay. Or you decide to go with your best friends or your best friend. All of those things are okay. But remember, the thing I want you to walk away with is that God has a divine purpose for your life. And now trust me, you don't see the bigger picture now, but you will. You will always look back and say, you know what, God? I know why you didn't have that guy ask me to the prom. Just keep on going. But just because you didn't get invited, no one asked you out on the prom, does not mean that you're not beautiful. It does not mean that you're not wanted. And it does not mean that you are not good enough. As a matter of fact, you are all those things and more. So remember that, young lady. And I'm so excited that you watched this video. I hope that it encouraged you. Please watch any more of my videos. And if you go to prom, have fun. Celebrate your achievements. And remember that night forever. Talk to you guys soon.